Thanks for staying with us. Now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, formerly a government-owned corporation, was privatized today, July 19th, 2022. NNPC was established on the 1st of April 1977 as a merger of the Nigerian National Oil Corporation and the Federal Ministry of Petroleum and Energy Resources. NNPC, by law, manages the joint ventures between the Nigerian government and a number of foreign multinational corporations, which include Royal Dutch Shell, Ajip, ExxonMobil, Total Energies, Chevron, and Texaco, now merged with Chevron. Through collaborations with these companies, the Nigerian government conducts petroleum exploration and production. The president said that the government was transforming the petroleum industry to strengthen its capacity and market relevance for current and future global energy priorities. According to the Punch newspaper, the official transitioning into a private entity means that the oil company would be regulated in line with the provision of the Companies and Allied Matters Act from today, with the group chief finance officer expected to bear additional task of ensuring the liquidity of the group as well as the efficient allocation of capital to its businesses based on returns and business relations. Also, the federal government would henceforth be halting all forms of funding for project and sundry purposes compared to what has been obtainable in the last 45 years of the NNPC. This privatization is coming amidst the series of fuel crisis, scarcity, and skyrocketed pump price of petroleum products rocking the country, with the situation getting worse in parts of Abuja, Lagos, and the northern states like Kano. History was made today, and we are asking, what are the implications of the NNPC's new status as a limited liability company? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. You can also tweet at us at WaysShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WaysShow. All right, so ladies, this is actually quite an interesting conversation. I called a few friends of mine that are in the oil and gas industries. Some say, okay, this is a good thing, but there was a particular person I called, and first of all, he said, I'm not following this. I'm not interested because this is dead on arrival. It is failure. And, when I probed further and I tried to understand what his argument was, it kind of made sense. You are in the customer relations, business. Most times when there is a problem, what you first of all do is define the problem, right? What are you trying to solve? So from his argument, rebranding, right, is like taking a horse and taking a donkey and taking the donkey, put the lipstick on the pig, right? Take a donkey and turn the donkey, put all the accessories that makes it look like a horse. I expect that donkey to participate in a horse race and win. It's impossible. So that's why his argument was that this is actually dead on arrival. That because, first of all, if NNPC or if the federal government were to be sincere about solving the problem that we have in the petroleum industry, you first of all need to understand and define the problem. Part of the problem, right, for the NNPC, right, because he was saying that, first of all, NNPC was set up under the NNPC Act, right? It's not like a regular company. It's just like the CBN under the CBN Act. So you have not even followed those rules. You have a constitution that actually backs you up as you have not followed those rules. Is it CAC that you now want to follow? That was one argument. Then he said some people, so some of the problems rather that they are supposed to be solving is big issues like oil theft, right? Another issue like contract inflation within the NNPC, which is what we always see happen. Corruption. Huge level of corruption, revenue sharing problems that always happen. They want to allocate different oil companies going to pay bribes and all of that. There's so much corruption within the NNPC. So can you just say, because NNPC has been like this, oh yeah, Uti, come, let me put the cloth that Uwa is wearing and put it on you. Remove this cloth that you are wearing and all of a sudden you become an Uwa. Is it possible? So that's why his argument now made sense to me that, this new status is actually a failure waiting to happen. It's already dead. It's already, like, it's not going to go, it's not going to fly. But I'm trying to still find some level of hope, because the president seemed very, very excited about this thing, you know, bragging about, oh, this is something that he's glad that he was the one that, coincidentally, first of whatever in 1977, is making history, you know, how many years later, to be the one to sign it into law. But let me hear your thoughts, ladies. You know, when this news came about, the new status of the NNPC, what came to your mind? And, you know, are you with this my my analyst, or you actually have some level of hope that things might change?
Will there be change? That's a very important question. I don't think, I mean, today is unveiling day. We have to wait to learn more about what the change truly means. Because, I mean, when I first saw it, I said, okay, it's a limited liability company. Who are the directors? Who's on the board? Because these are some of the governance structures that are in place. So I see, you know, there's, if you look on their website, they have their GMD, and they have their CFO. And of course, a board that seems to have quite a lot of experienced people. But looking at the way forward is not yet clear. So they say, I think in the president's speech, he says the company will improve the lives of its 200 million shareholders. So we all have a stake in the company. How does that work if it's a limited liability company? So there's, for me, still a lot of questions. They are positioning themselves now as the company that's going to change the face of energy in Nigeria. Again, looking at how they're going to change the entire industry in terms of the way things are done, and that's what they're trying to say that their focus is going to be. I think it was their tagline is energy for today, energy for tomorrow. So they're clearly looking at how to be different. But like you said, are you changing the people? Are you changing the staff in the organization today? Are you going to go in, change all the processes, change all the policies? How much change can we truly expect versus is this just a name change? That's what I think the analysts in the industry need to start to break down and help us to understand further, because today is literally day zero, right? So if you want to call it, you know, technically a very old startup, 44-year-old startup.
We're seeing the company as a startup right now today.
So that's what we want to say, that we've drawn the line in the sand, and we hope that things will be different. So we wait to see what it means. Absolutely. In truth.
Let me hear your thoughts, Noma.
It's, I mean, I agree with Uti that it raises a lot of questions, and gleaning from some of the points that your analyst friend made, because you know, when I saw the topic, my concern, you're going to deal with corruption. In this case, how are you going to deal with corruption? Are you going to change the management of the enterprise, or is it going to be the same people? I know that NNPC, for years, we've had series of situations where mismanagement has taken place in the area of revenue sharing. We know people in the oil sector who are always say, oh, let NNPC smile on us this week or next week, because whether you're in favor of the people, the powers that be or not, will determine whether you're going to have allocations and all of that. So there's just a whole lot of system overhaul that needs to take place for this to actually kick off on the right note. And are we ready? Are we at that point where we can actually make this possible? There are some advantages that, I mean, analysts have already started putting out for people to begin to embrace. Things like improved transparency and governance. How? It is only when you have a new set of people. Are you going to throw away all of the management of NNPC, the previous management as it stands now, to bring in if you're bringing fresh, what do you say the tagline was?
Energy
for today. So you want to bring innovation. How is that possible? Does that mean that you're going to pull out
clean,
completely on a clean slate? You're going to start in that way. So how is that going to happen? They need to let the people know. If you're saying that the people are going to be part, it's a limited liability company, so people are going to have stake. How is that going to be made possible? How is that going to be made possible that people can own shares in NNPC or in NNPC International Limited? How are they going to new funding sources? Before now, the government was the one funding, and at every point there was always a deficit. They could never meet up with investment levels and all that. How is that going to change? Where is the sourcing going to come from? Those are questions that people are going to be asking, and you need to have the answers ready on ground. New management structure, how is that going to take place? You're still going to need Nigerians, or are you going to import external expatriates or people to manage?
We have expatriates here.
We have expatriates here who are now Nigerians. Then government revenue. I mean, these are things that are really raising. You said oil theft. As of now, that's probably one of the biggest problems of the energy or oil and gas sector in Nigeria. Oil theft. How is that going to be curbed? A lot of the produce that we have goes out because you have a lot of illegal bunkering and all of that. How is that going to be managed?
Please categorize it as supervised.
So exactly.
Illegal bunkering. Because there is no way you're going to steal oil. That maybe it's not part of it. The military is not part of it. They are all.
How is that going to be managed if the government itself had no power?
And now you want to now give it to...
And then now you want to give it to the private sector. How is that going to happen?
You know what? Let's take a break because this is getting interesting. I'd like to hear from our audience. If you are an oil and gas expert, please call us and educate us. But this is just our thoughts here. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, so thanks for staying with us now. If you just tuned in, it's our Ladies' Night Out, and our focus for tonight is this new status, NNPC Limited. All right, we're asking what are the implications of this new status for us and what does it mean for us as Nigerians? Now, please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at PlusTvAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. Our phone line is now open. The number to call is 07025007749. Remember to turn off the volume of your television set so we can hear ourselves when you do call. So, same people, same players. You just remove Jesse. So it's just so in my head I'm thinking it's just like you pick the Nigerian flag now, right? You put they say America, make America great again. What's the color of American flag? There are stars there. You carry the star, you put it in Nigerian flag. You carry this, and all of a sudden Nigeria now become great. Or you look for a country that probably is thriving. So this conversation brings me back to the video I saw of the Dubai. I don't know if you guys saw that video. The oil processing structure in Dubai, where the man, I think there was an investigative journalist that went to Dubai, and you could see the screens showing from the exploration to the refinement and everything. The entire process was on a big screen, and you could see they could account to the teeth per drop, not even per liter. They could account every single drop of the petroleum products that they were that they own in Dubai. So if the government, right, were to be really serious about solving the problem, would name have been the first thing that they would have thought of? Wouldn't you have at least said, you know what, there's a problem?
How
right?
do you know that
we don't even have today? The other day they were asking for the, what's it called? Remember they were asking how many liters of petrol do we consume?
Yeah.
We couldn't even name. We couldn't account for the number of liters. And you just wake up and say, change your status. Is this not our president still doing the same thing, trying to play to the gallery and just try to look good?
In fact, I noticed that.
I think we have our first caller for the evening. Thank you for calling. Lawrence from Lagos. Oh, did we lose the call? Oh, sorry, we lost you. Try to call back again. Go ahead.
I noticed that the president is the one who is going to appoint the board, and the non-executive chairman, basically. And I'm wondering again, is it in the place of the president to do that? I mean, I'm just wondering.
Every opportunity is just something.
Well, so I mean, typically, because of the way the company has come into play, I don't know that. I mean, it's a new company, like you said, it's a startup. Technically, if you set up a company today, you go and approach senior members in your industry, experienced people to come and be your board. I mean, the board is already in place, so that's already been done.
Sorry, Uti, let me quickly, so we don't lose him again. I think we have Dan from Abuja. You're live. Dan, are you there? Oh, sorry, we lost the call. Yeah, so sorry, you were saying, Uti.
So I think I've lost my train of thought. The idea that the board is already in place, from what Norma was saying, they already have a board. But for me, it's like, okay, now we have become this is a national oil company now. Even though I think the context that I would like to set is, I see it as a step in the right direction, because we know that companies typically have better governance than what we call the government today, the public sector. We have structures in place that can make companies accountable, right? So from that point of responsibility, from that fiscal transparency, governance, there are a lot of checks that can be put in place. The concern for me is whether there is a real commitment to doing that. So it talks about, I think somewhere in the speech, he said that this would take away the irregularities. Let me just find that. It says that the National Oil Company will operate without relying on government funding and free from institutional regulations such as the TSA, Public Procurement and Fiscal Responsibility Acts. Now, these acts are all in place. They are not there to strangle companies. They are there to protect, right? The whole point of the TSA was to stop money flying
everywhere. It was to keep it in one place.
Yes. So now that you've removed this, the concern I had then was, you've spoken strongly about what will be removed. Then here's what it will be replaced with. It will, of course, conduct itself under the best international business practice in transparency, governance, and commercial viability. That's a bit skewed.
Let me take Loma from Abia State. I hope you can hear him. You're live.
Okay. Good evening, my dear sister in the house.
Hi, Loma.
Good evening.
Good evening. See, I want to tell you people, my own way of reasoning is different from others because of what I believe. See, with this new system, the government, heavily led by President Muhammadu Buhari, is going to inflict more taxes on Nigerians. It cannot make any difference. NNPC, why are you changing it from corporation to company limited? It's quite unfortunate. With this now, you know people are suffering. Now they will try to increase the weapon price. That is beyond the reach of the common man. It's quite unfortunate. I'm shedding tears here because at the end of the day, they will not achieve any meaningful results. I pray by 2023, the new government will change all these bad policies of APC-led administration.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Loma. Hey, when they say new government, the problem we're having, and this is not a function of whether this government or any government, I think the problem Nigerians have, we are not able to diagnose our problem correctly. Abi, correct me if I'm wrong. If there is a problem, what are you supposed to do first? you feel sick in your body, your first thing is to go to the hospital, right? Run a series of tests. Then you can then know that this is what I am dealing with before you start to administer like maybe medications or whatever it is, treatments.
That's the idea.
But in Nigeria,
that's the idea.
You know, you don't even know the problem. You know, but let me take Dan from Abuja. I think he's back again. Thank you for calling. Dan, you're live.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. Good evening. Good evening.
Go ahead. Oh, shoot. Dan, you don't have much time.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Good evening. Good evening.
Oh, I think you're having trouble. Try to call back again. It's delayed. Don't listen to yourself. Just speak into the phone once you get through. You know, so if you then now start to receive treatment for something you do not know, do you understand? You are treating headache, meanwhile it's cancer that you have.
No, but that's the
Does it make any sense? Is that not death waiting to happen?
That's the ideal situation in organized societies. That's the ideal thing to do. However, Nigeria, here we are used to medicine after death, or to give our
wrong medication
solution to the problem.
Okay, I think Lawrence is back. Thank you for calling. You're live.
Okay, good evening.
Hi.
The change of the status is not actually bad, but how effective is it going to be? That's it. How is it going to affect the common man on the streets? That's what it should be. That's what me I'm concerned about. You get? So not all about changing name and changing personnel or whatever they want to do, but my own concern, hope is going to benefit the common man in the street. Hope there's going to be a hike on the pump price of fuel. That's the thing we should be talking about here. If the government of the day can do it in a way whereby it will be beneficiary to the common man on the street, fine. Why not? It's okay. So that's my suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, Uti, are we ready as Nigerians? You just took a story on price increment, right? And I'm saying that price increment, as far as I'm concerned, it's not
it's going to happen.
That's what we're saying, that it has to happen. But I think that I love the points that our last caller just made, because he's highlighted what I was trying to say, which is information now is needed. We lack trust in the system, in our leaders. This change, for all intents and purposes, like you said, is like dressing up a donkey. People need answers, because the NNPC today, when you change it to a company, what happens? So the income from this company now, where is it going? Is it going back into Nigeria's purses? Like, we need to understand. So there's a lot of questions, and this for me is like where the leadership of the company needs to start. It's like almost going on a PR campaign to reintroduce your brand to the 200 million shareholders that you have, and tell them, because the only thing they've said so far that I can see is that the MD has stated that the company has adopted a strategic initiative to achieve the mandate of energy security for the country by rolling out a comprehensive expansion plan to grow its fuel retail presence from 547 to 1,500 outlets.
So hold that thought. Chief Easy, I think, from Bielsa.
How are you? Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Today's program is quite interesting and very educative.
Thank you.
Because it touches the very nerves of our very existence as Nigerians. Petroleum product fuel is one of the most fundamental elements that every citizen, every household we use. It goes a lot to affect the prices of our product, things to buy every. So today, for the president to come up and unveil NNPC, he needs old clothing. It's very funny. It's like turning the new wire at an old bottle. All the staffs are there, the GMD is there, the minister is there, the president is there, and we are talking about limited liability without involving karma. We all know what limited liability is, and they are coming to tell us that Nigerians are the shareholders, over 200 million of us. Which one is going to the NNPC? When as I speak to you now, the 4 refineries are down. In the last 20 years, they spent billions of naira to turn around those refineries. There's fuel crisis. This is the same country where the NNPC imported adulterated fuel. Today, no head is rolling. They have not sacked anybody. This is the same country where in Abuja, Lagos, everywhere there is queue. And nobody is asking questions. Is it because we are getting to a new political season or politics around the corner? It's a very sad country, Nigeria, to keep deceiving ourselves. Where can NNPC go without the refineries? When you get the crude oil from SIS, how do you refine it? You want to NNPC will start exporting petroleum products to get crude oil to outside country for them to refine it and bring it back to us. Is that what we call limited liability company? I don't really know. Sorry, the minister is from Biafra. In this country, we don't tell ourselves the truth. The PIB Act is a fraud. I will begin to read in between the lines. You cannot see that we are defrauding ourselves in this country. I pity the next generations because the youth that are coming up are going to meet a very bloody country in future. It's very sad that most of these bourgeois, their children's school abroad, their families abroad, their wives is abroad, their girlfriends is abroad. So they don't care about this downtrodden. They begin to set up policies without reading it between the lines. I was just like listening when I was watching the program on television, how they are convening NNPC and they carried flags. Is that the problem of Nigeria? As I speak with you, actually it's on strike. The government is not bothering about it. But when aviation industry wanted to shut down the aviation sector so that they will not fly anywhere, they run overnight and stop that problem. But as it's been in the house for over 6 months, nobody is talking. It's so sad. This is the same country where over 10 million children are out of schools. Nobody is talking. This is the only country where poverty has hit the roof. Nigeria is among the 10th inflation-related country in the world. Nobody is talking. It's so sad. And today we want to deceive ourselves that NNPC is a limited. How is it a limited liability company when the same persons are there?
Absolutely.
It's a limited liability company when Melekari is still there. It's a sad
Thank you so much.
And I think moving forward, to tell ourselves this truth. In fact, the National Assembly is the problem of this country.
Thank you so much, Ifizia. You could see that he had a lot to pour out. And that is the genuine concern that I told you guys the person has spoken to. He said, see, you can't wake up and just say because you're changing a name. If I call you Uwa tomorrow, you can never be an Uwa. Your name still remains Uti Elu. Do you understand? So the qualities and the behavior and whatever it is, the mannerism of Uti is still what you will continue to portray. You cannot overnight become, so that's why no matter, so even if we're waiting for them to unveil, educate the people, we're still saying that they are still going about it. This already, for as far as I'm concerned, is a wrong move. What is the biggest problem that we have in the petroleum industry in Nigeria today? Is it name change that will solve that problem? If the answer is yes, then we can continue. But if the answer is no, then we switch and find how to solve that problem.
And so that's the point now. You can't change everything overnight, right? Like I said, they haven't told us enough for us to know where this is going. And I don't know how many people have read the 783 pages of the act when it was signed. But what I hear is still people want to know why this has been done. They want to know what will be different. Like I said, for me, the things that I picked out that concerned me was the focus on the downstream sector. You say you're going to go from 574 petrol outlets to 1,500 in the next 6 months. More petrol stations is not the most critical. Now, it may be low-hanging fruit for you, but is that the true problems today? Nigerians want to hear about your plans for the refineries. They want to know. We are all waiting with bated breath for the Dangote refineries. But we've heard of the amount of funds that have been spent
and it's still not complete.
And nothing is still coming out.
But let me I think Dan is back. You're live.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
So just go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Such an interesting topic you're considering today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I think the leader I want to contribute is this, right? I think we should give this new management the benefit of the doubt. Okay, you know why I'm saying this? For the past 44 years, this was the same GND. It was doing its own tenure that AFS was published for the first time. it was during his own tenure that he joined 80, 90, and one of the requirements that you have to publish your AFS. You know, the initial one, they were like, okay, no, don't publish. He published. There's a lot of backlash from the media, from everywhere. They critiqued it, and it helped. You know, it was a minus. There was a lot of a minus then. The following year, there was some level of improvement. The debit level went down. I'm talking about the minus level went down. And as of last year, you could see the lead to about 287 billion. So I also overheard that why they choosing the same person. I'm just wondering who else will be able to steer their affairs if it's not this gentleman. I'm not a steer, but at least I watch and I follow him, and I see the effort he's putting in. I'm talking about Mele Kyari. Yes, I heard other callers talk about refinery issues and the rest. Yes, there's one thing that will have an issue. Another thing is that are we doing something about it? I'm sure you have media people could see the effort already being made in is it Port Harcourt refinery now? You know, because the issue they had was, you know, it should have been a turnaround maintenance, but over the years it wasn't followed. So definitely need a lot of those equipment moribund, and the only option out was a rehabilitation. So if Afrinex, for instance, does not believe in such ventures, do you think they will actually invest in it to even start with? So we know that that's an issue, but the point is that if there's work going on, I mean, if you could just check online, I'm sure on NNPC site, you see the progress of work that's been done on Port Harcourt refinery and WRPC, KLPC.
So Dan, thank you so much. Dan, so thank you so much for this, because this actually gives a bit of hope. The only thing I need you to understand, Dan, is that Nigerians are actually, you know, when this is like how many years, right? It is years and years and years of deceit. So it is difficult, and that's where Uti's point about communicating, right? This is not just giving vague statements. This is actually telling the people, you know,
not just telling them,
yes,
being able to see some credibility in what you're saying.
See, let them even know that, okay, if we do X, this is the result of X. This is how it will impact Y. You know, that is the kind of
transparency
that we are seeking for, because it is good for you to say, oh, work is being done. I know some of the refineries are undergoing certain levels of rehabilitations and all of that.
How do they see it? How do they know?
It just seems like you can't blame Nigerians at the moment, because it just seems like an unending conversation.
Absolutely.
Right? Monies are being spent, refineries are being worked
on. And it's like we're not seeing the results.
Refineries coming out, nothing is, you know, so which is why I said that for me, when you make a change like this, right, your plan at Go Live is a real facts, real information. That is going to give people comfort that we are doing this with a change in mind.
Absolutely.
We have a 5-year plan. So if you say that we're 200 million shareholders, treat it like an AGM.
Absolutely.
Come out and tell us, this is the performance, this is what we hope to hit, this is what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
And we can all follow you in that journey, and we can track. And you give us timelines, you give us milestones, and we can see that, okay, we've hit this milestone, and people can see. But right now, it's all smoke and mirrors.
Absolutely. Let me take Suleiman from Abuja. Sorry for keeping you. You're live.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been listening to your discussions on this new NNPC transformation from corporation to limited. Honestly, I want to sincerely say that NNPC has flopped it again. The reason being that you transit from a public company is with a civil service setting, and you move into a commercial entity having the same management team in place. I'm telling you, nothing is going to change except the name limited and corporation. I am talking from a position of experience. Having been a civil servant and now a private business person, the thing is this: the mindset of a civil servant is quite different from that of a business person in the true sense of the word. That is why you find that a lot of ignorance now.
Oh, sugar. We're losing him. Thank you so much. But he
Well,
made
he
so
made a
much
lot of
sense.
sense, yeah.
I mean, we talked about this thing about
Yeah.
civil servants, that they are the biggest problem we have. But let's take our comments.
know,
We have like
right?
a minute to go.
I think that just to give some context, maybe I'll take this comment quickly. It says, "Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of what are you saying? #ways. Implications of NNPC's new status. We have to ask ourselves the reason for this change. According to Sister Uti, she made mention of the energy change. Sister Noma made mention of change in the management and system. If they have decided to be a limited liability company, then NNPC has to improve for the good use of the masses, and it has to be what the people want and be proud of the qualities. What the people want and be proud of, and the qualities and services must change for the better." And that's from Daniel Ilo.
Yeah. All right, I have this one from Bobby Kennedy in Jalingo, Taraba State. It says,
Finally!
after a long
After a long
time, we found him. God bless you all at Ways. It's another season of politics. We're not supposed to be suffering when we have crude oil in our land. Did you ladies watch us? In fact, Asha singing "There is Fire on the Mountain" at the event? Nigeria is boiling. Please, God bless you, great ladies. Thank you so much, Bobby Kennedy. I mean, I just saw it while we were talking. I saw the
Fire on the morning.
Fire on the Mountain.
But I think we've had a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much, ladies, for always bringing your A game.
I just want to put this out there. It can be a great thing.
Yeah.
It is. It is
Saudi
possible.
Aramco is the most valuable company in the world, and it's a national oil company. So
That's the Saudi Aramco, right?
Yes.
No problem.
It's
But
possible.
Saudi Aramco is transparent.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just for us to see the possibilities.
Absolutely. All right, thank you so much. Before we go, ensure you follow us on Instagrams at Wayshow Africa, TikTok, Wayshow Africa. You can like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. This is from our president, Muhammadu Buhari. It says the provision of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 have given the Nigerian petroleum industry a new impetus with an improved fiscal framework, transparent governance, enhanced regulation, and the creation of a commercially driven and independent national oil company that will operate without relying on the government funding and free from institutional regulations such as the Treasury Single Account, Public Procurement and Fiscal Responsibility Act. This is from your president. So we'll see you guys live at 8 p.m. tomorrow as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.